Hi, I'm the Prodigal Fish, and I was gonna make a video on the death corps of Krieg, but a lot of you have been asking me what a Commissar is, so I thought I'd make a quick one. So unfortunately, a lot of people, myself included, when you get into Warhammer, you mostly learn your lore through memes, and everybody just thinks that Commissars are just assholes that wear red clothes that just shoot people at random who aren't worshipping the Emperor hard enough or if they run away. And for the most part, that is true, but it's not at the same time, and hopefully I can explain it in short. A Commissar began long before even the Emperor came to power. So in the modern military, you have what's called a non-commissioned officer, and their whole purpose was to keep the morale and the good order in the military. Even in the Roman legionary times, you had somebody called the Denicus, and his job was also to make sure the camp was clean and ordered and everybody was ready to go. And then you have the World War II or the Soviet Union Commissar, where you imagine where the guy just sends everybody forward and shoots anybody that runs back. So it's kind of a blend of the two. A long time ago, before we have the Commissars in 40k, back during the Great Crusade for the Emperor, you had people that were called discipline masters, and, well, they were like the Commissars, but instead of just shooting everybody, they were just there to make sure everybody was ready. Because in the very beginning, there was no standardization, and the first Imperial Army, these guys were like barbarians. They didn't have like las guns like you see in 40k. These guys brought what they had. And until the Thunder Warriors came by, these people would fight creatures that are so much bigger than them. We're talking about genetically augmented mutants or people that work for these tech barbarians. So you had to have somebody who was brave enough to keep everybody in line and not run away. These guys were supposed to be the most loyal to the Emperor, and really, they were just there to make sure that battles would be won. We go later on to the 40k Commissars. It's men and women. They work for something called the Officio Perfectus, or also known as a Commissariat. They work technically for the ecclesiarchy. If you don't know who they are pretty much the church, while the Inquisition are the people that shoot you for the church. Well, they pretty much do the same thing. Commissars are supposed to be the elite, the best of the best from the Imperium, whether to serve on the ground or in the spaceships on the Imperial Navy. They're tasked with keeping morale, especially during massive campaigns. And because if you know anything about the Guard, your life expectancy isn't that high anyway. They try to keep everybody standing there and just keep fighting no matter what. Commissars are usually orphans whose parents were killed, and they get brought in from the ecclesiarchy, where they're sent to, what do they call those things? Schola Progeniums. And here they pretty much learn everything. They're supposed to be the best of the best. And in order to become a full-fledged Commissar, you have to have a complete undying faith in the Imperium. You have to really believe and live everything that's coming out of your mouth. When Commissars graduate from their grueling training, they go and get assigned to a unit. Where they go, it's understood that they have absolute authority and they can punish and execute anybody who is staggering. These guys, and men and women, they can take over a regiment if an officer is not fighting hard enough, or if they're making bad decisions, or if they're cowards. It's not uncommon for them to actually win battles. But as they go, where we mess up is everybody thinks that a Commissar just shoots people at random. And the truth is, they can't completely do that in every regiment because there's cases where they get shot. Like, for instance, if these guys aren't tough, they have to go, like the Catechin regiment, these guys come from a hell world, like a jungle world, where everything wants to eat you. These people are the toughest that you're going to find. So if a Commissar doesn't earn their respect, they're not going to last very long. And the Death Corps of Krieg, I love my Shovel Boys. They're different, where everybody thinks that they're all suicidal, and they are, but they're not. They want to make sure their sacrifice is worth it in the end. They will shoot a Commissar that either tries to force them to hold a position pointlessly where they're all going to die, or if they don't let them press an advantage when an opening happens. Where did the Commissars that we know from the universe now come from? Well, at first, they were the most veterans of the regiments that fought for the Emperor. And as time went by, you saw that the Horus Heresy happened. And they think about 40 to 50% of the Imperial Army turned and joined the traitors because they're all pieces of shit. But when that happened, they're talking about the entire military structure almost collapsed, as people didn't know what side they were supposed to, to fight for. So it took some of the best to kind of link up everybody and trying to keep everybody together, and that's what did it. The Commissar, the most zealous among the soldiers, rose up and practically kept order. They're what kept the Imperial Army together. And in order to do so, especially when they went to war with Chaos, they noticed how, almost what I'm looking for, infectious it was. That it wasn't uncommon for units, they would go into battle or just be exposed to it, and then they would be corrupted. So a Commissar was given absolute power and authority to do whatever they had to do. If they even felt that anyone was being disloyal or had a taint of chaos, they could kill him, no questions asked. And it's a rough time. It's a hard job. I think what else we got? I know I'm jumping around. For over the 10,000 years, there's pretty much a Commissar in every single regiment or in the staffs, and they really are watching over anyone. The only person they can't straight up execute is probably like a Primarch, and I'm pretty sure certain Space Marine chapters don't really care for them. Like, I'm pretty sure the Salamanders, they ain't gonna play with them, and these guys will just do their thing. There are a few of them that are pretty famous, like Commissar Yarick O'Bailey. That guy became a legend, and he's one of the first Commissars really to have like a whole command. So when he goes there, everybody respects him. You have another one, which was, it's his name, Ebron Gaunt. This guy was a Colonel Commissar, and he was, I guess the 10th Regiment. That guy was a pretty cool guy. So what is Commissar training like? So it's pretty hard. It's not an easy life at all. So they go to the school at the Schola Progenium, and this is the same school that trains like cadets, grenadiers, and stormtroopers. A stormtrooper for the Imperium is called a Scion Trooper, and they are the most elite special forces of the Imperium, but we'll cover that some other day. So these guys spend most of their lives, and the training is so brutal, it's meant to weed out the weak, and usually they die. So they try to get to the point. If you survive all that, your training is constant military drill, weapons proficiency, hand-to-hand combat, religious indoctrination, and they have to prove that they can deliver the Emperor's justice, really execute somebody, without hesitation or remorse. When they get to a certain age, it's not really specified. I'm going to guess maybe like 15, 16, 17, 18. They become a Commissar Cadet, which is pretty much a private in the Guard, and they're sent to a regiment veteran Commissar. And these guys usually go to 10 to 20. From here, they have to fight. So these guys, well, they're kids, and they have to fight the enemies of mankind. And a good amount of them die. And they have to fight harder than the Guardsmen watching them. Because if they fail, if they even look like they can't do it, they will be executed without question. So yeah, this is a trial by fire. So these guys, they are badasses. So when you see him out the Commissar in the field, know that guy standing there barking orders has seen more combat than a good amount of those Guardsmen ever will. If they don't die, they'll become fully fledged Commissars. And to them, it's pretty awesome. The only way they get promoted is if they're a Commissar, and when teaching them says they're fine. If not, they can still get failed and executed if you're being weak. So what's like the ranks? So you have the Commissar General, and that's pretty much what it is. Their whole purpose is to oversee regular guard officers and and promoting Commissar cadets to full status. You have PDF Commissars, and these are like planetary defense forces. These guys get sent to planets, and they're pretty much like watching like the guards and all the forces upon there. You have a Lord Commissar, and these guys are senior ranking guys. And they're typically given that rank after like years of service. Like you're talking about, these guys have proven themselves beyond a doubt. You have a Colonel Commissar, which is a very rare rank, and it's only given to people who are essentially like, god tiers. Like Ebron Gaunt was probably one of them that I can think of that had one. You have a Commissar Captain, which is somewhere between a Commissar and a Commissar General. It's not really like specified, but it's pretty much, yeah, you get the point. It's just a lot. Then you have a Commissar, a Junior Commissar, Commissar Cadets, and yeah. So I know this was a lot of information, and I just wanted to get out there so you guys could know what a Commissar is. In conclusion, it's essentially the best the Imperium has to offer. Someone that, in the middle of the battle, you can look to and follow their example. Of course, it's for Warhammer 40k, and you'll never meet their example, and they'll probably just shoot you anyway. But hey, at least you know now. I apologize for my breathing. My kid got me sick, and yeah, it's been hard recovering. And I make these in my car before I go to work. I don't read off of a wiki, and I want it to feel like we're having a conversation, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, please consider like and subscribing to the channel. And leave your suggestions in the comments for any topics you want to know more of. I appreciate your time as always, and yeah. Anyway, this is the Prodigal Fish saying bye.